What if the tapestry of your existence, each thread of experience you weave on your journey, is part of a far greater cosmic pattern, a veil of wonders and mysteries, called Maya, whose understanding could free your perception beyond the limits of the known? Since the dawn of human consciousness, the nature of reality has been a persistent enigma. We gaze at the starry sky, the intricate beauty of a flower, the complexity of human relationships, and a fundamental question echoes in our soul. What is real? The reflected image seems as real as the sky itself. But if a stone is thrown into the water, the surface ripples, the image distorts and fragments. The reflected reality hasn't vanished, but the way we perceive it has completely changed due to the disturbance on the surface. The veil of Maya can be likened to this water's surface. Our minds, emotions, and beliefs act as distorting our perception of the supreme reality beneath. They arise and dissolve based on causes and conditions, without an intrinsic, permanent nature. This impermanence and interdependence are aspects of the veil that prevent us from seeing the ultimate reality. Heraclitus spoke of constant flux, while Parmenides argued for the immutability of being. Plato's allegory of the cave, as mentioned earlier, is a powerful metaphor for our condition within Maya, where we mistake shadows for reality until we break free to behold the true light. What is illusion? We are immersed in a world of forms, colors, sounds, textures, and flavors that our senses capture and our mind interprets. But what if this interpretation is merely a superficial layer, a veil concealing a deeper, more fundamental truth? The multiverse theory suggests the possibility of countless coexisting realities, of which ours would be just a fraction. Quantum physics, with its principles of superposition and entanglement, challenges our classical understanding of reality as something local and defined. The emotions you feel, the thoughts that assail you, the beliefs that limit you all, are part of the fabric of illusion. Not that these experiences are unimportant or meaningless, but it's crucial to recognize that they are manifestations within a larger framework, and excessive identification with them can keep us trapped on the surface without exploring the depths of our true nature. These discoveries make us question the solidity of the veil we perceive. Reality seems to be molded by how we name and conceptualize it. Meditation, in many traditions, is a tool to go beyond conceptual thinking, to experience reality directly, without the mediation of words and labels, allowing a glimpse behind the veil. The words we use to describe the world are not the world itself, but mere labels, approximations of reality. Yet, we often fall into the trap of mistaking the map for the territory, believing that the word tree is the tree itself. Your body is in a continuous process of cellular renewal. What, then, remains constant? That which observes these thoughts, emotions, and bodily changes through our consciousness. You are not the body. You inhabit the body. You are not your thoughts. You witness them. Identification with the transient is one of the primary ways Maya keeps us veiled from our eternal, unchanging true nature. We firmly believe we are our physical body, with its limitations and desires, and our mind, with its endless stream of thoughts and emotions. This identification leads to fear of pain, illness, and death, trapping us in a cycle of seeking pleasure and avoiding suffering. Maya ensnares us in a web of definitions and categories that fragment the continuous, indivisible reality. It is the force that manifests as the multifaceted universe we experience. Just as a magician uses skill to create the illusion of a rabbit emerging from a hat, Brahman uses Maya to project the world of forms from its formless essence. The rabbit isn't non-existent to the viewer, but its origin and the true nature of the trick are hidden. Similarly, the world we see is real within the framework of Maya, but its true nature as Brahman is veiled by our limited perception. I invite you to subscribe to the channel and engage with this video. Together, we can begin to lift the edges of this veil. Imagine a calm lake, its surface mirroring the sky and the surrounding landscape. At the heart of Hindu philosophy, Maya is more than mere illusion. It is the creative power of Brahman, the ultimate and indivisible reality. This idea resonates in other philosophical and spiritual traditions. In Buddhism, the doctrine of emptiness teaches that phenomena are empty of inherent existence. The ancient Greeks also explored the nature of reality and illusion. Science, in its relentless quest to understand the universe, also touches the edges of this mystery. Your personal journey, with its highs and lows, successes and failures, relationships and challenges, unfolds within this cosmic theater of Maya. If you're intrigued by the possibility that reality is more than it seems, if the idea of unraveling the secrets of the veil of Maya calls you to deeper exploration, One of the most effective ways the veil of Maya manifests is through language and concepts. Consider how different cultures describe the same experience in radically different ways, shaped by their language and belief systems. Another powerful manifestation of Maya is identification with the body and mind. However, if you observe your experience closely, you'll notice that your thoughts and emotions are constantly changing. Mindfulness and awareness practices help us create distance between ourselves and our thoughts and emotions. By observing the flow of our inner experience without judgment, we begin to disidentify from it, and our future shape our perception of the present reality. Often, these stories are based on interpretations, unresolved traumas, our fears, anxieties, addictions, and compulsions. These rejected parts operate in the unconscious, projecting onto the external world and distorting our perception of reality. We see in others what we refuse to see in ourselves, creating conflict and judgment. The process of integrating the shadow is an act of unveiling, bringing to light what was hidden and thus reducing the veil's density. In large part, it is through the limitations of illusion, through the challenges and experiences the veil presents, that individual consciousness has the opportunity to know itself, expand, and remember its true nature. The illusion serves as a springboard to truth. Without the contrast of shadow, we wouldn't appreciate the light. Without the illusion of separateness, we wouldn't seek unity. Manifestations of how we cling to an illusory reality or try to control it. The relentless pursuit of material security, external validation, or what is the purpose of such an intricate tapestry of deception, if truth and freedom are our ultimate destiny? Universal consciousness, in its fullness, projects itself into countless forms, temporarily limiting itself to experience itself from different angles. You, in your essence, are a facet of this universal consciousness, experiencing itself through the illusion of a separate self and an objective world. It is recognizing that the illusion lies not in the world, its existence, but in our identification with it, as the soul and final reality. The veil exists so that, through experience and reflection, you can awaken to who you truly are. By living in the present moment with total attention, without judgment, you begin to deconstruct the illusion of linear time and anchor yourself in the eternal now. It is in the now that reality reveals itself in its purest form, free from the distortions of past memories or future anxieties. This question takes us to the heart of the nature of existence. Fleeting, these realms, with their different realities and beings, can be seen as manifestations of the Great Veil, each offering a unique perspective on existence. Odin's journey for wisdom, for example, involves traversing these realms and even sacrificing an eye to gain profound knowledge, a symbolic act of seeing beyond appearances. The knowledge gained doesn't destroy the realms, but allows Odin to understand them in their totality, beyond the apparent. Pleasures the ego, which seeks to control everything, is one of the greatest weavers of the veil. When you surrender to what you cannot control, when you let go of the need for things to be a certain way, inattention dissolves, and the veil becomes more transparent. This is exemplified by teachers like Eckhart Tolle, who teaches that suffering arises from resistance to what is. Non-resistance is an act of unveiling, is in each of these experiences, even those that cause pain, is fundamental to their development. Maya is like the cosmic playground where the soul plays, learns, and grows. The rules of the game enable experience and, ultimately, wisdom. Attempt to fill a void that can only be filled by perceiving our true nature, and limiting beliefs that keep us trapped in repetitive patterns. By clinging rigidly to these stories, we close off the possibility of new perspectives and experiencing reality in a freer, more authentic way. Realizing we are the consciousness that observes, not the content of the observation, both for others and ourselves, is a way to dismantle these fixed narratives of the past. By releasing resentment and guilt, we create space for a new perception of the present, free from the weight of past illusions. This is a crucial step in lifting the veil of Maya. Your personal story is also an essential component of the veil. The narratives we construct about who we are, our past, condemned to push a boulder up a mountain, only to watch it roll back down, repeating the cycle for eternity. This is a powerful metaphor for the suffering that arises from attachment to Maya's illusions. We seek happiness in something external, which is inherently and when it inevitably fades, we return to the start of our search. Sisyphus's suffering wasn't in the boulder but in his identification with the futile task, his inability to see beyond the illusion. The practice of forgiveness, the veil of Maya manifests not only in external illusions, but deeply in our psychology and behavior. Consider the myth of Sisyphus from Greek mythology. Jungian analytical psychology offers the idea that the shadow parts of ourselves we repress and deny is also a manifestation of the veil of Maya. Here lies the deepest and most paradoxical, philosophical, and spiritual mystery. If the veil of Maya is an illusion that causes suffering, why does it exist? For many mystical traditions, Maya is not an evil to be fought, but a divine tool for learning and evil. Think of a child's learning process. They play, explore, make mistakes, fall, and get up. In Norse mythology, the world is an interconnected web, a giant tree called the World Tree, connecting all 9 realms. The answer to the purpose of the veil of Maya, then, is that it is a mechanism for the divine sun. The key to unveiling Maya is not to destroy the external world, but to transform your inner perception. This brings us to practices that allow us to see through the veil. The first is full presence or mindfulness. The second is surrender, not surrender to defeat, but surrender to the flow of life, to universal intelligence. Can you identify moments in your life where your resistance to what was, rather than what should be, increased the density of your own veil of suffering? What would you be willing to let go of in your mind and heart to glimpse the truth that Maya conceals? Ask yourself, who am I really, behind my name, my story, my beliefs? Where is the observer of my thoughts? Where does my consciousness begin and end? Are designed not to be solved logically, but to break the conceptual mind, forcing the practitioner to go beyond language and linear reasoning, directly into the experience of unfiltered reality. This break is an invitation to see through the veil. These questions, pursued with sincerity and persistence, erode identification with the ego and Maya's illusions. Think of Socrates and his maxim, know thyself. Challenges still arise, but your relationship with them changes. Instead of being a victim of circumstances, you become a conscious observer and deliberate co-creator. In every moment of your life, you don't need to go to a remote temple or follow a specific master. The truth lies in your own consciousness, waiting to be recognized. You are the veil, and you are what lies beyond it. The mystery is not about what you will find out there, but about what you will rediscover within. The veil is only as real as you make it. And when you remember who you truly are, the consciousness behind the form, the dreamer behind the dream, the veil becomes transparent, revealing the infinite beauty and freedom of your true nature. You realize that Maya is not a trap, but a dynamic playground, where consciousness experiences and expands itself. Pain diminishes not because problems disappear, but because your identification with them dissolves. Plus, by getting one, you'll receive the ebook The 7 Hermetic Laws entirely free. Are you ready for this journey? When you love unconditionally, you see the divine in everything, including what you once judged or feared. Love doesn't ignore the illusion, but transcends it, revealing the underlying unity. Leave the word transcend in the comments to let me know how this video helped you see the world with new eyes. Like this video if it inspired a new perspective, subscribe to the channel to continue this deep exploration, and share it with someone else seeking the truth behind appearances. This is what mystical traditions across cultures teach. Love is the bridge to the ultimate reality. Think of Sufism, where love for God is the ultimate devotion, a passion that dissolves all illusions and unites the lover with the beloved. That was the essence of his philosophy, and self-knowledge is the first key to unveiling any illusion. The third vital practice for unveiling Maya is deep self-inquiry. It's not enough to simply observe. You must question. In Zen Buddhism, paradoxical riddles like what is the sound of one hand clapping? The fourth practice is unconditional love. Love is the force that dissolves separateness, the primary illusion of Maya. When you live from this perspective of unveiling, your life doesn't become less material but richer, more vibrant. The final revelation about the mystery of the veil of Maya is that it is not a secret hidden in a distant place, but a layer of perception that can be pierced here and now. You are the stage, the play, the actors, and the audience. If this philosophical and spiritual journey through the veil of Maya has resonated with your soul and sparked a new light in your understanding of reality, I invite you to share your thoughts,